for 2019.
It is now time.
Well, we're going to be seeing someone else coming up to the podium. The remarks by the Honorable Minister of Defense, General Mansour Dan Ali.
Please also present his remarks. The Honorable Minister, sir.
Your Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari GC Abar, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, Honorable Kashim Shatima, Chairman, House Committee on Defense, members of the National Assembly here present, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and defense advisors here present, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Chief of Army Staff, representative of the Service Chief and Inspector General of Police, former Chief of Army Staff here present, our guest lecturer, Lieutenant General C.I. Obiako, retired, former military advisor to United Nations Secretary General, principal staff officers from Defense and Service Headquarters, Theater Commander Operation Lafia Dole, and other commanders of various military operations, co-commanders, general officers commanding, senior military officers serving and retired, head of security and paramilitary institutions, members of the academia, captains of industries, participants, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm highly honored to be in your midst here in Maiduguri at the opening ceremony of this year's Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference for the year 2018. The Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference is an avenue to reassess the preparedness and the operational readiness of the Nigerian Army in carrying out its constitutional role and in aid to civil authority. I'm hopeful that the deliberations during the conference will generate new strategies for enhancing stability in our country and greatly assist you in charting a right course in the Nigerian Army in the coming year 2019. In line with the Ministry of Defense core mandate of maintaining men of the Nigerian Armed Forces in a state of combat readiness on land, sea, and air, I want to passionately appreciate most sincerely the President and Commander-in-Chief for his quick intervention in the approval of funds for the immediate and emergency procurement of critical equipment from original equipment manufacturers on government-to-government basis. We are indeed most grateful for the enormous support given to the armed forces in handling this series of security challenges confronting our nation. One major concern of the Ministry of Defense challenge is the drive to achieve jointness and the unity of effort among the three services, especially in the conduct of various ongoing operations within the country. I must commend the Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chief for putting in place measures to achieve. However, more need to be done on the achievements so far, attained such that operation on ground reflects that jointness in all ramifications it requires. Let me also congratulate the Nigerian military for the critical role it played in ensuring the defense and security of our dear country, Nigeria. This has been made possible by visionary leadership and the direction of our noble President, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, especially in the area of addressing the security challenges in the country. I'm bold to say that due to the doggedness of the officers and the men of the armed forces of Nigeria and the Nigerian Army in particular, no local government area is being held by Boko Haram terrorists as a date. I therefore want to implore you to continue in dismantling the terrorists and insurgents within our country. Despite the effort of the military, there has been a resurgence of terrorist activities in the northeast in recent months. It is imperative to state that the activities of Boko Haram have been curtailed to the barest minimum in adherence to Commander-in-Chief directives. I'm confident in the capability of our armed forces to dismiss the Boko Haram terrorists, which must be achieved soonest. As you all know, Boko Haram is no longer homogeneous, but splintered and metamorphosed into various groups similar to what is being called international terrorist organizations like State of Iraq and Syria, ISIS, with activities across the countries of Lake Chad Basin. In this regard, my recent visit to Chad and Niger was in continuation with the consultation with ministers of defense of multinational joint task force countries, which I'm the chairman. Our aim is to strengthen the operations of the multinational joint task force to enable achieve its mandate of eliminating terrorism within the responsibility areas of the countries of Lake Chad, in line with Mr. President's directives. Permit me also to use this opportunity to commiserate with the armed forces and the families of those personnel who have paid their supreme price to keep the country safe, which is one of the core mandates of my ministry, and to implore the service chiefs to ensure that those wounded in action are given the best medical attention possible. I assure you that the federal government is taking measures to comprehensively address the circumstances that led to loss of these gallant officers with new ideas and strategies. Ladies and gentlemen, it is pertinent to emphasize here that as we approach 2019 general elections, the armed forces must remain professional in carrying its constitutional roles. Remember that this was the oath you swore on joining the military. Accordingly, you must shun every form of politicking in conduct of your responsibilities and in aid to civil authority. Let me boldly state here that the military has been the unifying factor of our nation since independence. At this point, let me also again appreciate Mr. President for his commitment and ensuring lasting peace and security is being restored in the country. I also urge the Chief of Defense Staff and the Service Chief not to relent their effort in steering the leadership of our various services. Finally, those of you who hold the ranks of general and warrant officers, you must speak the truth to yourselves and advise the services accordingly. The armed forces of Nigeria must retain its credibility in the face of battlefields and to also crave the indulgence of our Commander-in-Chief to please continue to take our armed forces to the next level in terms of equipment and professionalism accordingly. On this note, I wish a successful Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference 2018. I thank you most sincerely.